Good morning, friends. 7:20 in the morning. Today I'm heading to another meetup, Pistons in the Park it's called. It's at a Austin indoor kind of arcade amusement park for kids. They have a big parking lot, and it's going to be cars, I think, primarily, but also motorcycles and anything else on wheels. So right now I'm heading to the gas station to meet up with my friend Ethan. And Ethan has a very nice Ducati V2 Panigale. Here comes Ethan. Hello, man.
How's everything?
Good. All right, let's go. Yeah, it's one of my buddies. So hey friends, I'm here at Pistons at the park. This is behind me is Austin's Park Pizza and go-karts, and there's like arcade stuff in there and rides for kids and whatnot, but they got a big parking lot. And this is mainly a car show. There are some bikes here, but mostly cars, so let's go check it out. So two best looking bikes here. And right now there's only 5 bikes here. All right, we're here at Pistons in the Park. This is my buddy Dennis. How's it going, Dennis? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again.
And you brought a nice car with you. Let's see. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
What is this? What do you got?
It's a 2023 Nissan Z. It's a proto spec edition, so it was one of the first 240 sold in the United States. You can differentiate the proto spec based on the yellow color with the bronze wheels and the yellow calipers, as well as the yellow interior details on the car.
Very cool. And what have you done to this car? So you brought it brand new, and it was already kind of a high-end car. Mm-hmm. So what have you done to it to make it more high-end?
Yeah, basically just basic bolt-ons, nothing super crazy. So just an intake, exhaust, coil-over suspension to firm up the ride a little bit, make it a little bit more fun in the twisties. That's about it. Just kind of keeping the warranty here for the moment. So
let's take a look at the inside.
Yeah, sure.
First, and then we'll take a look at the engine.
Yeah, so on the inside of the car, you can see all of the yellow stitching and colorway. So that's the proto spec. It is a 6-speed manual, so old school 6-speed manual, but with all of the modern conveniences of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all that stuff. So
yeah, I love leather work, and they do the stitching and color. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it also has the illuminated door sill plates. That's an option that this car particularly came with. On these proto specs, there weren't many options available. The 2 options that were available were the illuminated kick plates and then mud guards. This one just has the kick plates.
That's solid, right?
Yep.
It's not no moon roof.
Yeah, so it's solid roof. It's a 2-tone paint scheme. One interesting kind of design feature on this car was that this is meant to look like a Japanese katana blade.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the shape, it's in the shape of a
definitely. Right here, you can see the point.
And then there's a lot of cues to older Zs of the past. So this emblem up here on the rear 3/4, that is from the original 240Z, 280Z family. And then if you come around to the back, The taillights are reminiscent of the 300ZX Z32 from the early 90s, so very similar design there. And when you unlock the car, they kind of, well, maybe not today, but it's a little too bright out, but they'll light up at night and kind of have an electroluminescent feature to them.
Very cool. And what's the badging over here?
Oh yeah, so the Fairlady Z logo, so in Japan, Nissan Zs are called Fairladies, and so this is just the Japanese badge that comes on the Japanese cars. On the US spec cars, there's a little Z down here, but no Fairlady on it. The story goes that the marketing department at Nissan in the late 60s, when they were talking about bringing the original Z to the US, thought that Fairlady was too girly of a name, and so they decided on just the letter Z.
Okay.
And even before that, in the late 50s, the Fairlady name came around because a Nissan executive went to the States and saw the play My Fair Lady, and thought that it was like such a great play, they decided to name one of their cars about it. It was kind of common back then in Japan to name cars after American things.
Yeah, lost in translation.
Yep.
So was this car, did you buy this from a local dealer, or did you like have them imported, or what, like how did you get this?
So it's a long story.
Buckle in.
Yeah, so I work with the National Z Car Club Association, and Nissan Corporate had reached out to a couple of folks that are kind of active in the community who've promoted the Z over the years, and asked if we would be interested in purchasing one of these. So I worked directly with Nissan in their communications and marketing department and a dealer out in Boerne, Texas, actually, to acquire this car.
To actually do the logistics part of it. Okay, very cool.
Yep.
Very nice. And then I can see some big exhausts.
Yep, so
sticking out of there.
That's the Nismo track exhaust. So the Nismo track exhaust is a Nismo accessory part. You can buy it from a Nissan dealership. So pretty much everything on this car, with the exception of the sway bar and the oil catch can, are all Nissan, aftermarket parts.
So how does it sound? Can we hear it?
Sounds good. Yeah, let's start it up.
Let's start it up. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's not too loud. It's a nice.
So it's neighbor friendly.
Yes, neighbor friendly, and
it's
nice for long road trips too.
Do you have any control over the valves at all to make it more quiet or anything like that?
No, this doesn't have any sort of active exhaust system on it.
Oh, okay. So I'm not a super big car guy, so earlier we were chatting and I asked you what this was, which is probably a no-brainer for most people. But that's the, what's that one again?
It's Nismo, so it's Nissan's motorsports brand. NIS, Nissan, and then MO Motorsports.
And then you were telling me before this was Nissan's attempt or to come back into the market with a sports car?
Correct, yeah. So the Z was gone for about a year and a half between the 370 and this car. And the 370 was quite old. It had come out in 2009. So the chassis was a little tired. This car is largely, from a platform perspective, the same as the 370Z. There's some key changes related to kind of stiffening the chassis, because this engine has about 50 to 70 horsepower, depending on the trim, more horsepower than the previous car had.
Okay.
So they went from a naturally aspirated 3.7 liter, and then this is a 3.0 twin turbo V6. So.
Very cool. And then also in here, you've got some interesting scribbles all over the place.
Yeah, so the signatures on the engine cover are all from the Nissan GT4 program here in the States. So this was their return to racing, road racing here in the States. So we have some of the drivers and engineers from Nismo that worked on the GT4 program. And then in the center we have Tamura-san's signature. He was the chief product specialist at Nissan, who was responsible for bringing this car to market. So.
Oh, very cool. Well, that's a nice car, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Anyways, you have another car that you're working on too?
Yeah, so I'm a bit of a Z nut. So I have a 280Z in 1978. I'm currently I've got the engine out of it, completely rebuilding the engine, converting it to a modern fuel injection system.
When did you buy that?
That was actually my dad's car. He bought it brand new in 1978.
Oh, so there's some nice history there too.
Yeah, so I restored it partially like in 2011. Got it set up for, I would say mostly kind of just getting it on the road, making it look nice again. Did some mechanical work to it, but now I'm kind of going through all the mechanicals and replacing pretty much everything. So
very cool. Well, thanks for the intro and showing us your lovely car. It's awesome.
Of course, yeah.
Thanks, Dennis.
Good to see you again.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Hey, how are you? Are you vlogging? I am also vlogging.
Touche.
Touche.
It's a little Yamaha.
I like it. Eat all the things
All right, folks, we're here with my new friend, Ron. Ron, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. So you got this really interesting car next to us over here. Tell us all about it.
So this is a 2006 Avanti Custom car. They made 2006 and 07s on this particular Mustang GT chassis. And there was only 21 of them made. So this was number 11. The original Avanti was made in 1963 by the Studebaker Corporation,
Okay, yeah.
and they went out of business in the end of '64. So then a couple of dealers bought the rights to build the car and continue building the car all the way through 1985. And then that company sold out to another one, and they built a new version of the car all the way into the early 90s. And then they went out of business. A couple of guys got together about a decade later, raised the money, found the ownership rights, and started building a car again in 2001 on the Pontiac Firebird chassis. And then GM discontinued that chassis in '03, and so they had to move over to another sports car chassis, so they selected the Ford Mustang.
Okay.
And
interesting.
Interesting story, the '05 model was on the old, smaller Mustang chassis. Ford discontinued it. They moved over to the new chassis, and they went 2 years, and then they went out of business. So this car was built for an executive that owned a real estate company in California. He drove it as his daily driver until he health-wise could no longer get in and out of the car, and put it up for sale, and that's when I bought it.
Okay.
From '01 through '06, all the cars were built to order for the customer, for the color choice that they wanted and the interior that they wanted.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting story. The brand, the poor brand, couldn't find a home. It kept getting passed along.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. So what have you done to the car since you bought it?
Well, we've done a little paint work on it that it needed, and we've done some customization under the hood, which I can show you.
Let's check that out.
So it was a pretty plain looking 4.6 liter Ford Mustang engine. So we, painted the valve covers. We made a custom cover to go over the intake, painted the fuse box, and put some under hood padding on the hood for insulation purposes. And then on the interior, we took off the old '06 wood grain and did carbon fiber throughout the interior. So yeah, on the dash, steering wheel, console,
Yeah, carbon fiber.
door panel, switch assemblies and stuff.
Yeah, the seats look great too. Got the branding on there.
Yep. That's actually the way the car came. And we re-dyed the seats
Convertible.
to match the car because they were off a little bit, and just cleaned it up and doing some maintenance as it goes along.
Oh, okay, very cool. So do you drive it quite often, or?
Well, we don't drive it a lot. It's mainly car shows, and we may go out on a date night or something like that.
Okay.
We plan on taking it to the international meet in Pittsburgh next summer. So we're going to drive it quite a bit to get up there.
Oh, so you're gonna drive it up there?
Yeah,
Not
and there'll be 100, 150 of them all together.
Oh, wow.
It's the AOAI international meet, so it's a big deal for guys that have Avantis.
That's cool. Exclusive group of people.
Yep.
Very nice. Well, Ron, thanks a lot for introducing
bet.
the car. That was very cool.
Appreciate it.
Great story. Hey folks, that's it from this end. It's starting to rain. Glad I shut this down early. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a quick one, fun, interesting. Thanks for the people that introduced the cars, Dennis and Rob. That was awesome. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.